It happens almost every time that we walk in the dojo. Dojos all over the world are a place where we kind of stretch ourselves, we challenge ourselves, we attack our fears, we decide who we are, we defend ourselves, we learn how to defend our families, and we learn how to deal with other people. A major part of any dojo is the social aspect. What my friends are going to think of me if I am late, or if I have been away for a long time, if I've been sick or injured, if I've been lying and telling lies to my teachers and fellow students and have been losing momentum at my school. I have been losing interest. I have been doubting myself. I've been afraid of someone in the dojo or the pain or something like that. There's literally 100 reasons why we will avoid coming into our local dojo. Any healthy martial arts school talks about these things. We discuss these things as a family. If you have a large school with a bunch of students, there's always several that are going through some sort of internal turmoil, some sort of stress. So fear of many different things is something we discuss here at the dojo because we're trying to overcome that fear. And the best way to overcome fear is not to run from it, but to run toward it, to confront it, and then eventually pass through that hurdle where the fear becomes a new strength. Here is a couple of students talking about what's fearful to them, things like work that pull you away, poor time management, which we all go through. How can I juggle a million different things and still try to get to the dojo? Not to mention the internal fears of self-doubt. Am I going to forget things? Am I going to be made fun of because I left and came back? How the social interactions happen between me and the teacher, me and my fellow students. Competition through belt rank and things like that is a very real and human thing that we all go through. Let's hear these two talk for a moment, and then we'll discuss at the end how to wrap this all up and to kind of get over these fears.
That's harder.
Going down your knees to shorten your distance up.
Oh, but I set it down.
Yeah, I don't
You're not alone in that, by the way. I've been coming here for a long time. Mine was more time holding me back, but watching peers and friends move up, and I couldn't because I wasn't here. I wasn't putting in the time. I've had a lot of extenuating circumstances. At my work, I went to 312, so I have 3 days a week that are gone. They're not there, right? So I'm trying to fit in everything that I did before, time-wise, put everything, in order. And I've been only able to make it in here one time a week sometimes, maybe 2 times a week. So I'm watching people move up, but the main thing that I focus on is this is my journey. They're my friends no matter what, and I have to keep that thought. Because we're all gonna move up at our different rates because we have different physical abilities. We can remember things better. Youth can remember that. I can't remember a lot of the vocabulary, and that's, as I move up, I know that's a very important thing. You can't hold that against yourself. And then that's another thing. Once you're moving up, like one of my fears is that I can't remember everything I'm supposed to. That's putting the time in outside of here, certainly, but I just don't retain it the same way that other people do. So that's a fear for me, and it kind of goes along the same with what we were just talking about, is that don't judge yourself on that. This is your journey.
Yeah. Use it as a building block.
Yes.
As opposed to something weighing you down.
Right.
I think as a dojo, we address those things. Mr. Norcross will say, this is your own journey. He says it almost every graduation. This is your journey. When you bring someone in and give them their white belt, you say, we are a family. We are here, we include you. You are now part of our family. I think we address those particular things, but do we emphasize them? Do we individually, as members of this dojo family, emphasize it? We all need to step up to the plate sometimes.
No matter where you're at in your journey, unless you have gotten to a certain point where you just know this is home, right? That it's hard to remember that when you're coming back in the door. I haven't been here since last week, and I'm walking in, I'm like, man, I know how much these people love me, but it's hard to walk back in the door sometimes.
To add on to the recognizing what your own fear is, but vocalizing it out really does help kind of, you bring in another brain or a senior person into it to help you kind of think about things. But really putting it out there into the world really helps kind of hearing it come out, you can then rethink about whether or not if it's even logical, right? Sometimes saying it out loud is like, was this even a logical thought? And then having the comfort of a friend that can help you think about it. Like, we can figure this out, we can move forward, we can put this into a good context, we can grow from it, we can help dissolve it and put it away. Does anybody else have a fear that as they come through the doors, that it's something that might slow you down?
Yeah, what Sensei Norfleet said is very, very close to home, and what Jeremy was talking about with trying to balance time of having 3 days of the shifts that he has taking away his time and being hesitant to walk through the door. We've all been through that. Rhonda reminding us that we all need to take part in our dojo to help each other out. It can't always be the teacher's job. Fear is so powerful in our interactions every day. A lot of those fears are just self-made. They're delusions, and by that I mean illusions in our mind. We create stories that aren't true. You and I know very well that when we sit in a room and we think about something and it's making us nervous, that we make up stories. We create scenarios that have zero truth to them. They're just lies we're telling ourselves. And then your brain starts to tell you, you can't do it. Don't go back. Quit. It's easier not to go. It's easier to stay home. Stay where it's dark and comfortable. Don't challenge yourself. Don't have to go toward your fears. Let that all go. To do the martial arts, we have to just throw ourselves into the faith of the martial arts. We have to just go and do it. And every single time, without failure, you feel great afterwards. We chose wisely. We chose to avoid our comfort zone, because in a comfort zone you don't grow. You can't get better. You're not going to ever challenge yourself, and therefore the opportunities that are abundant in this life that you and I have are never going to present themselves, because we're not there to see and take what is presented as an opportunity. Look, the moment that you signed up for the martial arts and you came through that door, we knew you were ready. We knew you were committed. You came to the first class, the second, and the 10th. Sure, we miss weeks. We are injured. I've been injured a lot through the martial arts. I've had many broken bones where I had to take time off. I've been pulled away by sickness and death in the family and things like that, financial strains. The reason why I didn't give up is because there was hopelessness if I did. The only hope was I have to get up off my ass and get back to the dojo and overcome these little lies and stories that my brain is telling me. Many times we revert back to our childhood where we had real traumatic issues in our life and real misconceptions about what was really happening. And those shadows and echoes and patterns stay with us into adulthood. And until we confront those things, and at the dojo you will, we will forever be robbed of truly living. We will forever be the victim rather than the victor. So remember, before you go back into your dojo after a long hiatus, an absence, a sickness, an injury, whatever it is, or the first time, and you're scared and you're nervous and you don't know what's going to happen, allow the process to help you. Allow your friends to take care of you. Allow your teacher to greet you. And allow the smiles that will happen, the hugs that will happen, the friendships that will build, the teacher-student relationships to wash away, like you can hear on the roof right now. It's raining. Let that cleanse ourselves. Let that cleanse our spirit of the negativity. And wash away this negative, heavy burden that we put on ourselves every day. And then after we start to move around on the mat, we're sweating and we're smiling and we're succeeding, we remember that the martial arts is here for all of us. And the beauty of the training is the magic of the practice itself. And then after class, we feel great, we're re-energized, all our fears are gone, we're ready to head back out into our world and to really have a strong appreciation and a gratitude for life itself. And then all we're left with is what we started with, joy and happiness.